Friends are the family you choose, but only after they gain enough XP to level up from acquaintance to buddy. Sometimes they get stuck at the old chum tier and no one wants that. Valve has launched Steam Families after a beta test earlier this year, allowing family members to play any game from their shared library, even if the user who owns a certain game is online and playing something themselves. Under the previous family sharing system, users couldn't play shared games if its owner was playing any game, simulating real-world family dynamics, like having to sit and wait until dad lost it after getting teabagged in Halo and throwing the controller, causing the siblings to scamper and try and grab it. Under that system, you could play in offline mode, but obviously that's an imperfect workaround. Now, two family members can play different shared games at the same time, and they can even play the same game if there are two copies of that game in the family library. It sounds awesome, as long as you qualify for Valve's definition of a real family.
Americans only.
Oof. While acknowledging that families come in many shapes and sizes, Valve says this feature is intended for a household of up to 6 close family members. Any more people, and that's less of a family and more of a family planning problem. And children may run away from home, but they can't run away from their Steam family. Kids, if you want out, you'll have to get your parents so mad they disown you through Steam. And users will want to be careful when selecting a family to join. Once you leave a family, you have to wait 1 year before joining another one. Exactly how it works in real life. No family for you for 1 year.
Every wedding license has a non-compete clause for 1 year.
Unity, the executive salary generator posing as a game engine, is cutting their losses a year after announcing a runtime fee, charged to developers every time someone installed their game past a certain threshold. After receiving heavy backlash, the company almost immediately canceled the fee for Unity personal subscriptions, and now it's also canceled for Unity Pro and Enterprise subscriptions, as announced by Unity CEO Matt Bromberg, who replaced the guy who introduced the runtime fee and infamously suggested charging Battlefield players $1 to reload their guns, John Riccitiello.
Yet more proof bullying works.
As for why Unity's fully dropping the runtime fee now, well, that probably has something to do with Unity's tanking stock price and the huge chunk of developers who've sworn off ever using Unity products again. I guess giving 5 executives yearly salaries totaling $150 million wasn't a sound financial strategy. If you're worried about the company, don't be. In the blog post titled "Unity is Canceling the Runtime Fee," they also announced subscription price increases, 8% for Unity Pro and 25% for Unity Enterprise. Although they also upped the revenue ceiling for the free Unity Personal plan to $200,000, which is good news for whatever smaller developers haven't already switched to Godot, or that AI game engine that renders only Doom. I mean, anything's more preferable at this point. I love Super Smash Bros, but what if you could smash it together with another game, like Fortnite? Wait, where are you going? Developer Odyssey Interactive's newly announced Byte Breakers is what could best be described as a Super Smash Battle Royale, with 40 players trying to knock each other off a truly massive stage as it gets smaller and smaller. But the devs, who also made Smash Meets soccer game Omega Strikers, aren't even sure they're going to keep developing this, so they're launching it as a closed playtest you can request to access. The game's Steam page also describes some interesting team assist mechanics to help you when your game gets absolutely starched by one of the devs who's already played for 2,000 hours. And I don't think I've ever been more motivated to see just who starches who.
It's gonna be a fucking corn maze in here.
It's good. Although, according to Super Smash director Masahiro Sakurai himself, I might want to consider how much time I dedicate to starching others. In a new episode of his Creating Games series, Sakurai apologized for making a game so level 10 Sigma that players spent thousands of hours playing it. Because that's time they could have used to do literally anything else.
Like paying the phantom tax.
Sakurai just wants you to touch grass, but his hands were cursed to create bangers. Why, skibbity, why? Speaking of sticking out your gyat for the Rizzler, our sponsor D-Brand, they got a new skin now. That is, for some reason, an actual topographic map of Area 51, AKA the real military base that was nearly overrun by nerds doing the Naruto run a few years back. Just like real aliens, these dbrand skins have a 3-dimensional printed texture made using state-of-the-art print technology. You can feel each individual ridge in the topographic pattern, as if that matters. They're available in 3 colorways for every device dbrand supports. So keep cringe alive and check out dbrand's Area 51 skins and more at mybossesveryshort.com. Now just be aware that if you watch all 5 quick bits, you have to add each one of them to your Steam family for life. Microsoft is cutting another 650 roles across its video game division. Out of respect, the Xbox social media accounts are taking a day of silence. But actually it's to avoid another incident of unfortunate tweet timing. Just hours after Microsoft announced multiple studio closures back in May, Xbox advertised a fire-themed controller with the tagline, "Feel the burn today." And we did. As for these new cuts, Phil Spencer said in an internal memo that no games, devices, or experiences will be canceled. Just today's social media posts. And the jobs. In other Microsoft news, they're testing a brand new, extremely old feature for Xbox, friend requests. Microsoft dropped the feature back in 2013 with the launch of the Xbox One, presumably as part of the backlash to the then popular television series, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. That's Jessica's theory anyway. Under the new old system currently in testing, Xbox Series X and S consoles will retain the current one-way follower system, but it will just be a one-way thing. In order to add someone to your friends list, you'll have to send an explicit friend request that will have to be approved by the other person. This, of course, mitigates the terrible possibility that your wannabe bro might instead follower zone you. 7 companies, specifically Activision Blizzard, Epic, EA, Mojang, Roblox, Supercell, and Ubisoft, are the target of a complaint from the European Consumer Organization, which, you'll be astounded to learn, is a consumer rights organization in the EU. According to the complaint, these companies are known to engage in deceptive practices to manipulate gamers, many of whom are children, out of their money. These include a lack of price transparency, unfair terms for in-game currencies, and neglect of real-world consumer rights. Why do we put that in quotes? If it exists at all, I don't know, because I don't look outside. European children spend an average of 39 euros every month on in-game purchases. I know that's not how you say it. That's over 500 USD each year, which is a meaningless amount of money to an adult, but for an 11-year-old, it's easily tipping into Scrooge McDuck territory. Star Wars Jedi Survivor's PC version has received a new patch that improves issues with frame rate, CPU usage, ray tracing, and more, which may or may not have to do with the fact that the game has finally had the universally hated, resource-sucking Denovo digital rights management software removed. It's not clear which straw broke the Tauntaun's back, but it looks like Respawn bolded the Denovo removal in the patch notes, indicating even they are happy about this. Now that Denovo's gone, maybe the studio will also have more resources available to make more games about Star Wars Jedi, or even other kinds.
Cowboy Jedi.
And a company behind a mental health action shooter just got FDA clearance to treat stress. Deepwell DTX received the clearance for their biofeedback software development tech used in their game Zengeance. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Which requires players to control their breathing in order to detect enemies to kill. The game is meant to teach you to find calm in stressful environments. It just happens to sound like a secret government experiment to create serene, emotionless assassins. But it's not that. It is, according to the game listing page, positive mental health at full throttle. Oh yeah.
Punch your stress in the neck.
Research continues to find benefits to moderate gaming, so hey, find your zen. Kill ghosts with magic beams, you know, whatever. Also, Flappy Bird is coming back, I guess. Millennials are very excited. Anyway, the only thing I'm excited about is you coming back on Tuesday for more gaming news. Because I like to think, with everything we've been through in this episode, we're practically Steam family. Mine's full though, but not in here.